Minecraft is a game that is always evolving. Each update either adds something completely new, or they completely overhaul a certain part of the game with updates like the Nether update or the Caves and Cliffs updates. But some people prefer playing the much simpler and classic versions of Minecraft. But why is that? What did the old versions of Minecraft have that was so great that it was worth not having the new features? Well, I'm gonna try to find out. I'm gonna talk about 6 different aspects of the game and compare the older and newer versions of Minecraft and see which is better for each category. And whichever one is better gets a point. Whichever side has the most points at the end of the video is deemed the best way to play Minecraft. But one thing I want to say before I begin is I consider old Minecraft up to version 1.8, not the very first version. But with that being said, let's get into the first category. We're starting off with one of the main reasons people stopped updating Minecraft in the first place. The combat is the entire reason I had old Minecraft go up to 1.8, because we all know 1.9 either made combat way better or completely ruined it, depending on who you ask. The most notable thing in 1.9 was the cooldowns that we got whenever we attacked. Also, we got sweep attack for swords. They adjusted the damage for certain tools, making things like axes actually viable in combat. But when we talk about the combat of new Minecraft, there are so many more options for weapons, like the crossbow, the mace, the trident, and then the axe, like I said earlier. But let's think for a second about what we used to have. We really only had like the sword and the bow, because the sword did the most amount of damage out of all the melee weapons. It all just comes down to how fast you can click, and that's it. And then the bow, you know, it's just, the bow is really good. I still think it's better than the crossbow. There's a fit for every player now, rather than just being set on, oh, craft a sword, and then you spam with it, or get a bow. And that's it. I mean, you could make the argument that the amount of weapons in modern Minecraft has made older features obsolete, such as potions and tipped arrows. But you know, I just think it means we get more options. And I think that's great. So this point definitely goes to new Minecraft. When I play Minecraft, building is pretty much my main focus, so right off the bat, you probably know how this category is gonna go. I'm still gonna give old Minecraft a chance, I'm just saying. We'll look at it, but we probably know how this is gonna go. Since version 1.8, we have gotten so many new fantastic types of blocks, specifically wood and stone types. For wood, we got mangrove, pale oak, warped stem, crimson stem, and cherry wood. And then for stone, we got deep slate, which is one of my favorite blocks of all time, blackstone, tough, and even like basalt. I mean, I like basalt. Not everyone does, but I think it's cool. Just look at my newest house that I've built. It's almost entirely made from new blocks. And then not even just wood and stone types, because we got a lot more options for different unique colors: concrete, copper, skulk, amethyst, bamboo, resin, which is one of the most recent blocks. And overall, the colors are less harsh and the textures are smoother, especially after version 1.14, which is the Village and Pillage update. Things look way better. Things like wooden planks and sand. But then, on the other side, when we look at old Minecraft, there was some kind of ugly textures, and overall, there was way less options for building. I mean, obviously, that makes sense because, you know, that's part of getting more updates because it adds blocks. But when I say ugly textures, I mean really ugly textures, but they got better. So I think it's pretty clear. It was kind of clear from the beginning that this point would go to new as well. So now new is up 2 points. Each update Mojang puts out, it adds different things to do. Things like getting netherite, going through a trial chamber, or something as simple as just getting a new wood type, which that's a great thing, right? I mean, getting new content is a great thing. Of course it is. But the downside to that is it kind of actually messes up the flow of the game. You know, instead of doing the main things you're trying to do, like obviously going and getting diamonds and defeating the Ender Dragon, those are the 2 main goals. There are these distractions because of all the new content. Like if you're mining while going for diamonds, what if there's Deep Dark? But then it leads to an ancient city. So then you're like, oh, I want to go explore that. Great. Then you do. And then you die to the warden. And then you're like, well, that sucks. But then you go and get your new stuff, and then you come back to the surface, And then there's a trail ruin. So then you craft a brush, do all these different things. Now you gotta go find the pottery sherds and all that. My point is that things are just a little bit distracting now with how many things there are to do. Like, you can't focus on defeating the Ender Dragon yet when you haven't even found a sniffer. Well, you probably could. Back before we had all the changes from 1.18 and the Caves and Cliffs updates, it was a lot easier to get diamonds and a lot more straightforward because all you had to do was just go down to Y12 and mine in a straight line and you would find like big veins of diamonds. It's kind of weird saying Y12 for diamonds because that's just not that far down now. So this point definitely goes to old Minecraft. Now it's 1 to 2. Obviously, world generation is a really important thing to this game. We have increased world depth and height, different types of caves now, cool new mountains, the oceans were updated, the nether was updated. The nether is basically a 2.0 now, and then even the end was updated, sorta, I guess, but not like great. I mean, these additions are fantastic, some of the best changes we've had to the game. But if we look back at old Minecraft, we had things like floating islands, and the terrain was just a lot more sporadic. Because I feel like Minecraft nowadays is trying to be like more realistic with the mountains and just overall biome generation. Even though the old generation didn't look nearly as good, it had its like own character. Like finding the wacky things in the terrain was a very Minecraft thing. It was very iconic for the game. Obviously, the new generation is amazing and it makes the game look way better. It just kind of replaced that aspect of Minecraft being the crazy world generation that kind of brought a lot of character to your worlds. Also, as I mentioned earlier, mining was much simpler, which could either be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. But honestly, after all of this, compare and contrast, I think this might be too close to call. So I think this is a draw. Now it is 2 to 3. So I put two main things in this one category, the YouTube side and the reception from the public toward Mojang and their updates. But going into YouTube, nowadays, there's just not as many iconic YouTubers as there used to be. I mean, there's Dream. It's not my first choice. There's some cool ones, like, for example, Hermitcraft, like Grian and Mumbo Jumbo. Those guys are pretty cool, but it's just like, to me, it's just not that memorable anymore because there's a bunch of trends that no one really goes away from, and that's just kind of how it is now. But if we go back to my day, YouTube was fantastic. We had DanTDM, who's still around. Love that guy. Stampy Longnose, Popular Mimose, Captain Sparkles. I don't know. I don't think it's just nostalgia talking. I genuinely think these YouTubers and just like the YouTube space in general, there's a lot more character, I want to say, with every video that was put out. Obviously, I respect the new YouTubers and I do think there are really good ones. I just don't see the same hype towards that anymore. But we got to move on to the next thing in this category, which is the reception from the public. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but people are just not as friendly towards Mojang as they used to be. I swear, every update that is released, people will find something to complain about. I don't know if it's because we've been spoiled recently because of the Nether update and the Caves and Cliffs updates, and recently the ones after that haven't been as grand. But they're not bad updates, but people still find ways to complain and be like really upset about it for some reason. But I will say I do think Mojang is a little bit at fault here because of how they handled mob votes. That split the community so much and made it way more negative because you had these great ideas that never made it to the game because it just was beat by a different idea. Like we could have gotten the Isolager and we got a squid. We got a glow squid that like barely does anything. I don't know. And then like the first mob vote where we voted in the Phantom, what were we thinking? What were we thinking? We could have had like the Blaze King or whatever that was. That was so cool looking. But with people being a lot more positive towards Mojang with their updates back in the day, mixed with YouTube and the YouTube space, at this point, gotta go to old. I might be a little bit biased because of nostalgia for certain YouTubers, but I don't know. I personally think that this is fitting. So now it's tied 3 to 3. Now we're here in the final category of the video, game versions. When I say game versions, I mean, ways to play the game, whatever platform you're on. Nowadays we have Education Edition, but who cares about that? Bedrock and Java. It's just that simple. There's just 3 different versions to play on, and you choose whichever one works. you know? Because we look at Bedrock and it's completely cross-platform. You can play it on any console that has it, and you can also play it on your phone and the PC. But then on the other hand, if we look at old Minecraft, we had an edition for everything. Pocket Edition, Xbox One and 360, the Switch, the PlayStation 3 and 4, the PS Vita, the Wii U, and the 3DS. But that is a lot of different editions, and it kind of makes it a little bit complicated because that way there's no cross-platform with these. You can't play with your Xbox One friend on your Wii U because, you know, you had to get that specific game in order to do that. Not being able to play with different platforms is a pretty big negative already. But if we look into these versions, it's the most nostalgic thing for me, specifically the PlayStation 3 edition. That was the very first console Minecraft I ever played on, and I look at it fondly. I really do. Like, even without cross-platform, these were really, really cool. I don't know why, but the layout of the UI was really cool. The crafting system, I enjoyed that. And then in place of servers, we had these really neat modes, like there's a Spleef mode, there was a Hunger Games mode, and like the last one they did was like an Elytra race thing. These were so cool. I remember playing the Hunger Games one a lot with my friend, and we would just do split screen. It was such a good time. But I mean, that may be cool, but the fact that it was so convoluted and had no cross-platform made these versions overall worse than Bedrock, even though Bedrock has its issues. I know, Java good, Bedrock bad. I get it. But like, come on, Bedrock is a really helpful thing, cross-platform. You can play with people on PC. So yeah, because of that, this final point goes to New Minecraft, deeming New Minecraft the best way to play the game. Alright, and there you go. That has been old versus new Minecraft, and I'm curious, what do you guys think about these opinions? And do you agree with them? Comment down below what versions you guys prefer to play on, if it's either something from new Minecraft, something from old Minecraft. I'm very curious to what you guys have to say. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, please hit a like and subscribe. Because if you do that, I will give you a stack of cooked steak, a stack of smooth quartz block. So please do that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.